What's good, you guys? We're back with another video, and today, man, I went to this Mavs game, game 3, and it was a disappointing game, man. I'm gonna get into all of it. The Mavs arena was hype. I'm gonna talk about all that type of stuff. I'm not gonna touch on a lot about the other two games because I simply did not watch them. I was locked in the American Airlines Arena. 17,000 in there, loud, bro. There's a lot of crazy fans in there. One thing I want to talk about the Mavs experience before we get into the actual video. We still booing Rajon Rondo for 2014, 2015. Like, that's such a long time ago. Like, who cares about his Mavs stint? Like, who cares? Like, it's not that big of a deal in my opinion. But hey, whatever Mavs fans wants to do, as long as you're not spitting on a fan, disrespecting people's families, and throwing popcorn and doing anything close to that. You want to boo somebody, go ahead. You want to be disrespectful, you want to boo somebody for no reason, go ahead. Anyway, if you like this type of content, like and sub on the video, and let's get right into it. Alright, number one, shout out Jason Tatum for dropping 50, and Trae Young said we'll see you in the A, and he did exactly that. Okay, that's all the Hawks and Celtics talk I'm going to talk about. Let's get into this Mavs game, and man, was it a disappointing one. It was a super disappointing one, and I was talking to my dad before the game. I was watching warm-ups, I was watching the vibe, and the vibe was the Mavs were loose. They were acting like the AAU team that was 10 times better against a trash team that looked like they weren't supposed to be there and things like that. And they just knew they were going to blow them out by 50 just by pressing them. And that was the vibe I got in warm-ups. Trick shots, throwing them behind their back, And I wanted to tweet. I wanted to really ask the people that went, because I haven't been to any games this year. I don't know what the vibe has been in warm-ups. I haven't been to any games in this regular season, so I wanted to tweet out and ask some people that have been to Mavs games or at the Clippers side of the first two games, or the Mavs acting like this in the first two games. I didn't end up tweeting out, I kind of forgot, but I'm kind of curious if they were, because they just look like, yeah, we got it. Don't care. We got it. That's what they were looking like. And the Clippers were focused, locked in, free throws. They weren't messing around. And some would say that's because they're on the brink of like imploding, and some would say they're just locked in and focused, ready for this game. And it looked like the imploding part, because the Mavs came out to like a 22-8 lead. The Clippers looked like they were just vibing, being the Clippers, and it looked like it was about to be a blowout. And the first mistake the Dallas Mavs made was taking Luka out too early, getting too comfortable. Luka Doncic should never be the first starter to go out, ever. I don't care if we're winning by 30. We always need his offense on the floor. And I said it, and everybody was like, oh, Luka needs a break. Yeah, we're up by 15. Alright, Josh Richardson, Jalen Brunson. Mostly Josh Richardson comes in the game. Kristaps can't do nothing. I'll get into him later. Kristaps, you ain't safe, Brody. I'm going to talk about Rick Carlisle, because I feel like Rick Carlisle isn't going to get a lot of heat for this game, but he made a lot, and I mean a lot of mistakes in this game. And the first one was this Luka Doncic sub so very early. He should never be the first one out. All the Clipper starters were still in besides Zubac, and he was the first starter besides Zubac to go out the game. That shouldn't be the case. He needs to stay in the game. You take Dodo out. You take Kleber out. You take Hardaway out. You take anybody else out. I don't care who it is. Not Luka, bro. We need his offense. He was heating up. I think he had 14 points in the first quarter. I'm gonna say Luka is not the problem. The last thing I'm gonna say about Luka is that you stop taking the shots you stop taking the difficult shots in the second and third quarter, kind of, and those are what got us in front. You were taking those difficult shots. I'm never gonna wince at a shot Luka Doncic takes. I don't care if he airballs, bricks it. I don't care. The only thing that Luka needs to fix in this game is his free throws. Everything else is perfect. His defense is okay. Passing, 3-point shooting, mid-range, finishing, it's all fine. I don't wince. I don't complain about any shot that man takes, because I know there's always a chance it goes in. And he stopped taking the difficult shots until the very end where we had to, and he made 2 of them in the last minute 30. You need to take those difficult shots first to win. Stop doing that pass and stuff at half court and that pick and roll to Maxi Kleber. Stop doing that, bro. He can't score off of that, man. Like, stop. Alright, the second mistake Rick Carlisle made is making Kristaps stay in the game that long. He should not have had 30 minutes today. He was so bad. He was so bad today, I can't even begin to explain it to you, bro. It was even worse in person watching it, because every time Kristaps touched the ball, the energy just was out the arena. Like, he just deflated the energy for the entire arena every time he touched the ball, man. Mid-ranges were off, post-ups. One time he got the ball, Paul George was on him. He posted up. Paul George kicked him back and like a little wince, and he passes the ball out and goes back out to the corner like he ain't 7'3". Like, bro, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? Like, he makes me so mad. And his defensive presence is not there whatsoever. Rim protection, not there. He's fouling a lot of fouling, not getting any rebounds. He may have finished the game with 3 or 4. That's unacceptable. And he had another terrible game. New York, I will trade him back to you for a second-round pick. Anybody trade? Anybody that wants Kristaps, all you got to give me a second-round pick, and I'm good with it, bro. He was so bad today. And I didn't love the Willie Cauley-Stein minutes, but I understand what he was trying to do. Powell is still not really what he once was before the injury. In my opinion, the lineup that should have been ran for most of the game is Brunson, Luka, Tim Hardaway, Kleber, and Dodo. And the reason why I say this is because Zubac was put out the game because of Luka on the mismatch on the pick and roll. We did that because of the Luka mismatch, and Kristaps was a mismatch for the Clippers. Every time he was on somebody, it was over. You take Kristaps out the game, you put Brunson in, and then the matchup should be Luka on Morris. You put Kleber on Kawhi, Finney Smith on PG, Tim Hardaway on Rondo or Jackson, and Brunson for the other two. And if you have Beverly, the same thing, and Mann, the same thing. All those 4 are irreplaceable. And Hardaway. Hardaway and Brunson can guard all 4 of those guys, so it doesn't really matter. That can be the matchups, and that was the rotation that they were running. And Batum also, they can all guard Batum. I don't know why Porzingis was so important to keep in the game, and like I said, I didn't like the Cauley-Stein minutes either, but that man flop was crazy, bro. I don't know how he got away with that. He pushed Cauley-Stein first. Cauley-Stein pushed him back a little bit like he was a little kid, and he flops and gets up like Cauley-Stein, like disrespected him. Like, he was just trying to push him, get him off of you. Like, what are you doing, bro? Man, but Kristaps, those minutes were dreadful, bro. Those minutes were so dreadful, man. Every time you touched it, man, it felt like the energy went out the building. Let's talk about some of the other players. Kleber, it felt like every time he touched the ball, every time he shot a 3 was in. Hardaway struggled today, and those are the games you're going to get out of Hardaway sometimes. Wasn't expecting him to average 20-something the entire series. Brunson, when he got the playing time, and like I said, he needs to get more in playing time for Kristaps in that lineup that I just said, because Brunson was a very good shot maker for us today, and I loved what he brought. He just needs to shoot more. But that one possession at the end of the third quarter when he held the ball too long trying to get a 2-for-1, that was a mistake on him, and he needs to give the ball to Luka a little bit earlier. Josh Richardson, decent minutes. I think Powell needs to get more minutes, but hey, if you don't want to give Powell more minutes, just give Kristaps less and give Brunson more. I'm not pleading for Powell minutes. I'm just saying Cauley-Stein wasn't great and Kristaps wasn't great. That's all I'm saying, Carlisle. That's all I'm saying. This game was really, really on Kristaps, in my opinion, and Rick Carlisle. Luka, 44. You can't do anything about that, but if Kawhi and PG both have 29 and 36, and Luka has 44, you can't offset that. They cancel Luka out. Somebody else has to step up, or Dodo and Kleber have to do better on George and Kawhi, and you can't really get mad at decent defenders not having a good night. Like, Kawhi and PG are going to have those nights. Kawhi's not going to be PG-13 every night. He's not going to be playoff P every night. He showed what he meant when he said that in the Oklahoma press conference that one day. He was playoff P. He was the real playoff B today for sure. And I think people were taking the Clippers as a joke, and I really wasn't one of those people. And in my opinion, I was talking to my dad before the game. I was like, sure, the Clippers may be shocked by this environment, but the Mavs will too. Dorian Finney-Smith had a quote before the series talking about how his daughter hadn't been to a real playoff game, and neither had Dorian Finney-Smith. Maxi Kleber hasn't either. Luka Doncic hasn't been in that environment, but I knew he was ready for it because he's that type of player. Jalen Brunson hasn't been in it. I'm not sure Kristaps has. They've all been in the bubble, but they haven't been in a real playoff environment. So all those people, I wasn't sure if they were ready for it or not. And they didn't look like they were too ready. They came out hot, and I was super disappointed that they gave it up because the Clippers aren't the type of team to come back. They don't have that mental fortitude, and the fact that you let them come back is just very disappointing because they're one of those teams that I feel if you get up on them, they ain't coming back because Paul George and Kawhi just aren't that type of leaders. But they did today because they kept chipping away, and it was 1 point, and we were down 2 at halftime, and in that fourth quarter, Marcus Morris, man. I disrespected Marcus Morris in this first video. I think in game 2 because I just don't like him because he tried to like out tough and tried to bully Luka Doncic last year for no reason, and Luka was bullying him in the first 2 games and bullied him again because he had 44, but they ended up winning. And what made history so wide open is that they were helping on Kawhi, and Kristaps just wasn't fast enough to get out there to Marcus Morris, which is the reason why I need him to be out the game, because they're already running 5 out. They don't have a big man in. They don't have Zubac in. You don't need Kristaps in, Carlisle. I don't understand. You can get a quicker person, even though Luka's not that fast. You can get a quicker person with better. He's not a stiff. You can get a quicker person to close out easier on Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris was getting wide open threes and sinking our game from that tank corner every single time until he fouled out, bro. It was so disappointing, man. Oh my gosh, I wanted to go up 3-0 so bad. The series is not over. The series is not over. I don't know why Matt's were acting like it before this game, but this series is not over. And I'm excited for Game 4. Won't be going to Game 4 because I may be a curse. But some of my family members may be. It may be the whole Rogers family is a curse. So hopefully that's not true, and we pick up Game 4 up 3-1, and hopefully we do not pull the Clippers after that. That's all I got for you guys today, man. It was super fun going to this game though. It was loud in there, and I saw on the Knicks thing. During the next game, I noticed that nobody was wearing masks. They were implementing the mask rule very heavily at the American Airlines Center, which I was surprised because it is Texas. But hey, they're implementing it hard. There's a lot of people in there, but a lot of people had on their masks, so that was pretty cool. The game was fun. I was super excited to go to my first Mavs game in like a year. So that was all a great time, but hopefully we can get a dub on Sunday, put it up 3-1. If you like this type of content, like us up on the video if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time.